Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's recent Oval Office exchange with President Donald Trump has escalated tensions, raising questions about future diplomatic relations. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, speaking on Fox News, criticized Zelensky's approach, warning that his actions jeopardized good faith negotiations.
So what is the intelligence community's assessment of Vladimir Putin and his future ambitions?
Well, I want to focus, first of all, on President Trump's goal and the reality that's on the ground. And that's the thing that seems to be getting lost in what we're seeing in President Zelensky's statements in the White House and the European leaders' response to this. President Trump recognizes the urgent need to end this war after 3 long, bloody years and has proven that he is the only person that can do this. President Zelensky has different aims in mind. He has said that he wants to end this war, but he will only accept an end, apparently, that leads to what he views as Ukraine's victory, even if it comes at an incredibly high cost of potentially World War III or even a nuclear war. President Trump is committed to peace and to freedom. We're seeing this big divergence here between his position and his commitment to these values and the interests of the American people and the interests of President Zelensky and these European leaders. This is an issue that has to be resolved. I know President Trump is committed to doing this, and that's really where the next step needs to lead.
Yeah, so what is that next step? Because one of the criticisms of the Biden administration is that they hadn't talked to Putin for years. President Trump is doing that. He's having that conversation. But now it seems the relationship with Zelensky is broken, at least temporarily. How does that get back on track? Because he's got to be part of the conversation as well.
Of course. And President Trump has made very clear that in his previous conversations with both Putin and Zelensky, that he wants to engage with both. He wants to engage in honest and real negotiations. And unfortunately, what happened in the White House after close to an hour of conversation, when President Zelensky directly challenged President Trump and Vice President Vance in front of the media and the American people, he really showed his lack of interest in any real good faith negotiations. I can tell you there were a lot of conversations that were happening through different emissaries, both for Zelensky and for President Trump, leading up to his visit there to the Oval Office. And President Zelensky's immediate escalation there was frankly quite a surprise. This has created a huge rift in the relationship. President Zelensky, as you pointed out in the clips that you played, doesn't believe that he did anything wrong and that there was no issue with what he brought up in the Oval Office with President Trump. There's going to have to be a rebuilding of any kind of interest in good faith negotiations, I think, before President Trump is going to be willing to re-engage on this.
Zelensky doesn't believe that he did anything wrong, and that there was no issue with what he brought up in the Oval Office with President Trump, Gabbard said. There is going to have to be a rebuilding of any kind of interest in good faith negotiations. The nearly hour-long meeting turned contentious when Zelensky directly challenged Trump and Vice President Vance in front of the media, a move Gabbard described as a surprise escalation. She noted that this unexpected confrontation undermined the months of diplomatic groundwork Trump had set in motion. This has created a huge rift, she added, highlighting concerns over Zelensky's commitment to real peace talks. Gabbard contrasted Trump's diplomatic efforts with those of previous administrations, emphasizing that Trump has engaged both Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin in discussions, unlike the Biden administration, which had largely ignored direct negotiations with Moscow. She reaffirmed Trump's commitment to ending the war, now in its 3rd year, while suggesting that Zelensky's reluctance to compromise could prolong the conflict. Reports indicate that Trump had warned Zelensky about the need for a diplomatic resolution, expressing concerns that Ukraine's insistence on outright victory could escalate the situation into a broader global crisis. President Trump recognizes the urgent need to end this war after 3 long bloody years and has proven that he is the only person that can do this, Gabbard said. The Oval Office meeting reportedly ended on a tense note, with Trump signaling that future U.S. support could be conditional on Ukraine's willingness to negotiate. Zelensky's stance, Gabbard suggested, could not only strain U.S.-Ukraine relations but also hinder broader international efforts toward peace. With the war showing no clear resolution, Gabbard warned that Zelensky's current strategy risks further escalation, potentially leading to a greater conflict. Zelensky's immediate escalation there was frankly quite a surprise, she said. If there is any hope for real negotiations, Zelensky will have to change course. The fallout from this Oval Office exchange highlights deep divisions in how global leaders view the path forward in Ukraine. As Trump positions himself as the primary force capable of brokering peace, Zelensky's next moves will likely determine whether diplomatic relations can be salvaged or if tensions will continue to mount.